Morning, it's December 23rd, 2023, and no, I'm not sitting out in the middle of the Pisgah National Forest putting together a fly rod. I'm going to release some bonus coverage today of my most recent released adventure, a backcountry fly fishing adventure in the Pisgah National Forest. I'm actually going to pick up where I left the campsite, where it's pouring down rain, and I start reflecting back on this trip, how enjoyable it was. I talk about the three pieces of gear that made this trip enjoyable: the AquaQuest tarp, my Orvis ultralight wading boots, and my Fish Pond chest pack. Specifically, the AquaQuest tarp. If you've seen those two parts of that adventure, you'll see me on Saturday evening sitting under that tarp in the pouring down rain. Only rained for about an hour, but it just made that very enjoyable sitting under there listening to the rain. And throughout the hike back to the Jeep, I'll actually talk about the benefits of all three of those items and why I like them. So I hope you stay tuned to watch the rest of this release. Also, I have one more trip that I took in October in the fall, beautiful fall colors. I was chasing some native North Carolina brookies. Good success on a couple of different creeks. I actually scoped out some backcountry spots in the at over 4,500 feet. So definitely going to be doing some backcountry adventures there in 2024. Um, Also, want to thank everybody for the many subscriptions, reviews, and comments over the last few months. Many more adventures coming in 2024. All right, the cell phone was able to refresh and get a weather forecast. It's coming anytime now, and it's going to rain all day, showing it's going to be pretty heavy rain. So I'm going to get packed up pretty quick. That is so funny. Right as I put my backpack on, strapped it in tight, was getting ready to take the first step, it starts absolutely downpouring. So timing was perfect. You know, this kind of stuff just makes me so mad. These Pepsi cans have been here forever. I really would like to get them out of here, but they're so rusted and tore up. Those are old school cans, and it would tear my gear up. Next time I come here, I will have something that I can get those out of here with. I mean, it is absolutely downpouring now. So, probably going to be a warm hike out of here with this rain jacket on. But, I mean, everything that could get damaged that's wet, they're in two dry bags inside. And, I have this cover over my backpack. I think water's going to probably run down in it. First time I've used it, so we'll see how it goes. It's not cold, so I could actually probably take the jacket off and just get wet, but probably be a little better. I'll probably be sweating in 30 minutes when I start climbing uphill. From the creek to the car, which is 1 mile, it's uphill all the way, so that's always fun. So I'll tell you, that tarp is awesome. It's got so many ties off. It's from AquaQuest, and that's the 4th time I've set it up, I think. A lot of times when I come out, I make sure the weather's going to be absolutely perfect, and I bring it, but I don't ever set it up. But this time, set it up in a good porch mode, which was absolutely perfect. I mean, I could easily put 2 people under it, and so I stayed completely dry. It's got a heavy sealant over it. It's a little bit expensive when you think about a tarp, but it's ultra light, and you know, it is very high quality and exactly what I needed. Stay dry. Kept all the gear dry yesterday when it was pouring down rain. So, really good stuff. So, kind of a cool hike out here. Pouring down rain. It's amazing how different the terrain is around here. Very tropical right here with all these ferns. I even got these evergreens in here. But then you start climbing up, then you hit the big heavy hardwoods. And you got those hardwoods in here too, but you don't have all the ferns and stuff. You got more rhododendron, mountain laurel, maple trees. Pretty cool. We'll keep moving along. Bet by the end of the day the water level will be good, but unfortunately not going to be hanging around this yet. Creek has risen a little bit. These rocks right in front of me, the little flat ones weren't quite covered up. They were very well exposed yesterday. It's coming up quickly. So I've got my wading boots on, so this is not hard. It's not slick or anything. Of course it is slick, but with the wading boots and the tungsten studs, it's actually just like walking on the dirt. As long as you don't step sideways. So this is the second time I've used these wading boots. If you've seen my trip yet, for my chasing brookies, if you haven't, go back and watch it. I bought these ultra light wading boots, a half a size, actually a whole size smaller than my wading boots that I wear when I've got the waders on. So I can hike in them, and they are awesome. Now I just hike in them with good wool socks and the neoprene gaiters, and it's awesome. Very comfortable. Key is having the good wool socks and the neoprene gaiters for wet wading. Let's see. I think I just missed the trailhead. Yeah, I don't feel like climbing up that. So. All right, back on the trailhead. So what I used to do is just hook my wading boots, my other ones, which are pretty heavy, not too bad on the hike in, but they don't drain very well. So you got some extra weight coming back. And I would hike in with the wading shoes. I'm sorry, hike in with the hiking shoes. And then when you start getting close to creeks and stuff, you may have to go ahead and put the wading boots on so you can cross them and not worry about slipping with 40 pounds of gear on your back. Don't want to get everything wet. But now I just hike in some light, water shoes. And then I just hike in with these. Saved on a few pounds and much more enjoyable. So round 2 of them, they're great. If anybody's interested in buying them, it's the Orvis ultralight wading boots, that is. About a half a size to a size smaller than your wading boots that you wear with your waders. You don't get as much stability because they're a little lower around the ankle, but lace them up real tight. Works out well. My other wading boots, when I have waders on, are some corkers. Really amazing ankle support on those. But yeah, I find they don't drain very well. And they're a little heavier even when you think they're about a pound difference when they're dry. So having the right gear certainly makes the overall experience of being out here almost perfect. You know how to deal with all the elements and have everything you need for whatever situation happens. All right, been doing the uphill for a while now. I'll tell you, another reason I like tungsten stud boots is you can go up this kind of stuff, you can get out of the creek. So if anybody is trying to decide, do they move away from felt? This is actually my 3rd pair with the tungsten screws. And I don't have any issues with grip on the slick rocks. And they're very slick in the North Carolina mountains. The way that the soles are concaved a little bit and put the tungsten screws in, you can get out of every creek, the steepest. I mean, you can climb actually better than probably rather regular, hiking shoes like a Merrill or Keen or anything like that. Because the studs dig in, plus you got all the good grip. And of course, some parts of the country where you can't have felt, due to, other types of diseases you could bring to different streams, it's a win-win. So if you're unsure, give them a shot. And you can get a pair that's a little smaller for wet wading and hiking, and then another pair a little bit bigger if you feel you need for your waders. So let's finish this up. Yeah, I just realized that if I had the felt boots, I would have been on my hands and knees getting out, because there's no way I could have gripped all the way up this trail, for the last 300 yards. It's just too steep, and with a little water running down it, you'd have just been spinning your wheels if you'd have tried to stand up and climb it up. I'd have been on my knees and my hands. You've been just been slipping. So I think for all those that are interested, go with the tungsten screws. The hardest part of the climb is over with. You can see I'm getting to the top of the ridge now. The fog into the tops of the trees here, getting to the higher elevation. The creek's about 2,200 feet above sea level, and where my vehicle's parked is just under 2,900, so it's close to a 700-foot gain. But the hardest part, what I've learned, is when your uphill climbs are constant uphill at no little flat areas, it is a beast. But still got some uphill, but it's a little bit lower and not as steep, and here you don't have to worry about slipping. Again, thank goodness for the tungsten screw rubber bottom wading boots. They're perfect. So I don't know if I mentioned this in my
chasing brookies, which is, hopefully you've seen that. If not, go check out that. That was high elevation, summertime in August, chasing wild brookies, and wow, that was a success. But anyway, for that trip, I went as light as I could, and I bought a chest pack. So I'll be forced to take only the minimum amount of fly fishing gear, flies, boxes, just whatever you need to get the job done. Well, it was absolutely perfect. I've got it on this trip as well. Worked out really, really well. One thing that I did was, of course, yesterday brought the wading jacket with me. And so I was able to just pull that through the straps in the back. Of the chest pack and carry that along. So not ideal, but I think what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to get some of those rubber gear ties that you can corkscrew around and just strap it right in the back of it where it crisscrosses, and that will make it ideal. In the winter when I do this, because you're typically layering up while you're fishing, it's cold earlier, and then you start stripping gear down, and you're typically too far away from your camp. I'll probably have to go back with the vest for the winter gear. I'll have to think about that. You certainly need a place to store the sweater when you take it off, and if there's a chance of rain, the wading jacket. So you don't have that in the chest pack, but it's a fish pond chest pack. Really small. You probably see it in some of the videos from chasing the brookies, or maybe in this one. But anyway, almost back to the Jeep. All right, made it back to the Jeep. Jeep's all safe and sound. Still raining pretty good, but hike back was a good one. You know, challenge through the elevation, but a great trip overall. Got a chance to experience all the different elements. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe so you see more videos in the future.